Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Stop Motion Anime Reviews. I'm Anime, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Captain America Civil War Giant Man figure. Now this is a fan channel exclusive figure. You can find it at most places that sell stuff like this for pre-order still. However, GameStop does have this in stock and ready, and you might test your luck and be able to find this inside one of your local GameStops. That's how I found it. It's retailing for around $30 to $35. GameStop has it for around $35. But like I said, this is a re-release of the Build-A-Figure with a little bit more or differences in the paint applications. This one's painted to look a little bit more accurate to how he looked in the film. But enough of that. Let's take a look at the packaging before we pop this thing open and take a look at the figure. The figure comes stuffed in this half-size packaging, almost as if he was growing and suddenly got stuck. It looks kind of funny to me, but I guess it saves Hasbro on spending money on more packaging. I'm not too keen on having my figures bent out of shape in the box because I prefer my figures with stiffer joints for posing, but that's just my gripe about the packaging. The Marvel Legends series logo is at the top heading of the box. Then there's a cutout window showing the unfortunately trapped Giant Man with a nice background shot of the hangar scene from Civil War. Underneath the window is the MCU Captain America Civil War logo, and below that is written Giant Man. On the side is some artwork with Iron Man at the bottom turning around to get a big surprise as Scott Lang goes Giant Man. It's a cool picture, but since this is a Captain America Civil War piece, it's not entirely accurate because I'm pretty sure that Tony Stark here at the bottom is wearing the Mark 50 nanosuit in that picture, which he doesn't wear until Infinity War. On the back is a product shot of the actual figure, as well as a write-up for Giant Man to the left, a bunch of other things written all over the bottom, different languages, etc, etc. The usual, you guys get the gist. On the other side of the spine is the same exact picture as before with Iron Man, it's just flipped. On the top is a spot varnished Ant-Man logo. On the bottom is a barcode and a whole lot of writing going on. Out of the box, still in the plastic, we got our contorted Ant-Man figure. Giant Man figure. And the backing from the box with an airport scene. No accessories or anything, just a slip of paper at the bottom and the figure trapped in the plastic. Time to free him, I guess. We've got that piece of paper at the bottom unfolded here with a bunch of writing. I don't want to read it or anything. You can read it if you want, although I don't know why, but there you go. And here he is, freed from the plastic, able to stand and breathe as much as a plastic inanimate object could, I suppose. Anyways, a very nice looking figure, a bit splotchy in the painting. Could be better for such a big figure, but don't really know what's up with that. This is pretty much the same figure as the Build-A-Figure version of Giant Man, just with some updated paint applications. From what I've seen, this figure is a little brighter than the Build-A-Figure version, but other than that, there really is no difference. As such, the figure pieces can be popped off fairly easily, not nearly as bad as the Build-A-Figure version, or a Build-A-Figure in general, but with a little bit of elbow grease, you can separate each piece with some ease. The suit is nicely textured. The blacks and reds of the suit parts have a nice muted paint look, but some of the silver metal parts look a lot less appealing and more plasticky than metally, if that's a word. But overall, a nice figure for those who didn't grab the Build-A-Figure version. For those that did, I don't really see this as a necessary upgrade unless you really have to get those paint apps, I suppose. Or you just gotta catch them all. The figure stands at about 10 and 1/8 inches, equivalent to about 10 feet, 1.5 inches. And it weighs in at around 247 grams, which as 247 kilograms would be 545 pounds. Let's take a look at some of the details and place this ant under a microscope. But not really, because I don't own a microscope. Anyways, looking at the figure closely, the helmet is painted in this metallic silver or gray. It definitely has some marbling throughout, which is kind of bothersome. His eye goggle parts are a nice clear ruby red, and he actually has a set of eyes underneath. It kind of reminds me of when he goes Giant Man and he's all like, whoa ho 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 in the movie, if you guys remember.
Holy shit!
There's a little bit of blue paint on some of the details, but no real color details separating the metallic pieces, which is probably making the metal parts look more plastic as it begins to feel like one kind of soft, continuous piece. He has marbling right on his forehead, which makes it look like his helmet has a giant scar on it, like he's Sabu or the Great Muta from professional wrestling or something. It's kind of distracting. Also, there's a line that kind of cuts across from below his eyes to his mouthpiece. Just another issue with the marbling. It just causes the metal parts, like I said, to look plasticky. He has black color applications as well. Those look a lot better and add a nice contrast to break up the muted, ugly, poorly implemented metal colors. You can notice some splotchiness going on with some of the metallic colors on the red portions, and just an overall not so clean application in those metal lines across the suit. The suit itself has a great textured look and feel, some splotchiness with some black color on the reds, but not too bad overall. The duller and darker nature of the colors, that helps to mask it better. But like I said, it's a great texture to the suit. It's just really beautiful. His right hand is a closed fist. The metallic portions look a lot better on his forearm. Some blue painted details. His left hand is a fairly closed open hand with some separation between the tips of the thumb and the fingertip. The hinge isn't painted, so it's black compared to the metallic color around it. There's nice detailings to the wrinkles and such in his suit. The waist section has his belt portion with the two box parts on his sides. They look plasticky like the helmet and are made of flexible matte plastic. And they are attached to the pelvic portion. The black portion looks really nice and really pops with the detailing of the wrinkles and such throughout the suit. There's less of that textured part in the lower half, but the detailing of the black parts is excellently done and it looks great. And the shoes and the lower leg portions look fine. There's nice detailing lines sculpted at the shins. No treads at the bottom, but there are double peg holes at the bottom of his feet. Now, going over articulation, we can get his head to tilt down a little bit. He can get his head to look up all the way. And he can do the freaky Exorcist 360 degrees head turn. He's got very minimal head wobble. He has a diaphragm hinge that is fairly loose, but it has a snapping point at the back, and also a locking point in the front. But right in the middle, there's not really any friction holding it there, so it is pretty much just a floppy mess right in the middle. His arms hinge out at the shoulders 90 degrees, a double jointed elbow that hinges past 90 degrees, and wrists that hinge up 90 degrees and don't really hinge down as far. Rotation points for the arm are at the wrists, the upper bicep, and the shoulder. A waist cut that allows for 360 degrees rotation. And he has the ability to do the splits that would put some of the female figures to shame. Upper thigh cut and rotation. And he can kick forwards and a little bit backwards. He also has double jointed knees that bends back quite a ways. There are hinges at the ankles with fairly solid range, kicking forwards and backwards. And a nice degree of motion in the ankle rockers. Okay, height comparisons. We have quick talking Luis, Scott's best friend, and he stands about to Giant Man's waist. So here is the Marvel Legends MCU Ant-Man and the Wasp suit. And the Diamond Select version of the suit, which is a really nice figure in and of itself. The proportions of the Diamond Select suit look nicer, I think, overall, although these aren't the same suits. And here is my unfinished Build-A-Figure Professor Hulk for height comparisons. I guess he doesn't need his extra arm for a height comparison, I suppose. And last but not least is the Veronica Deployed Hulkbuster suit from the 10-year anniversary 2-pack, which also was a Build-A-Figure re-release. Okay, so the overalls. Well, I think it's a nice update to the Build-A-Figure version as far as the paint apps go. There isn't nothing really horrible or wrong with this figure, but I don't think it's necessary if you already have that Build-A-Figure like I said at the beginning of the video. Other than that, it's a great piece, so grab it while you can, I suppose. I don't think it's going to go flying off the shelves or anything. Anyways, I just want to say thanks for sticking around this far and watching this review/overview. I hope this information was informative, as that is what I always try to achieve. Hopefully you guys found it enjoyable as well, and if possible, give me a little help and boost by hitting that like button down below and subscribing if you haven't already. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.